Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to check today's video out. And guys, you know, throughout the course of our planet, there has been, I think, 5 extinction level events where there's some type of natural disaster that came apart, whether it be asteroids or, you know, volcanic eruptions or whatever, that basically extinguished all the species on Earth, and they had to start again and re-evolve. Guys, I want to explain to you how we're in the middle of our 6th extinction level event here as a planet right now, with nothing but the stupidity and greed of man. So I'm going to give you guys an example. So anyway, let me turn the camera on here. I'm going to explain something to you guys here. Okay guys, what you're looking at here, this is a 160 acre section of what used to be some of the most prime wildlife habitat in the part of Springfield that I live in. Every day there would be, I'd drive through here, there would be 20 or 30 deer, a bunch of turkeys out there. And the same with this area right over here, where they're starting to build stuff right in this particular area here. Another 100 acre section, you know, full of deer, all this type of stuff, all over in here. So you can see right now, they're putting in a stupid housing development here. There's gonna be 250 houses here. There's gonna be commercial offices right there. Right down the road up there, about another quarter mile up the road, this was an equestrian farm that just got sold out. It's going to be commercially developed, and I'm getting ready to explain to you, there's another section right there. You can see that sign. There's about another 80 acre section here that's going to be sold for development. So let me explain to you what's going on here. Okay guys, let me explain the reality of the situation here, because probably not going to get the truth or the reality from anybody else. I've been fighting this for a long time, you know, what you just saw right there. Let me sort of explain to you what's going on. The area that I just showed to you was, I live about probably less than a mile away from there. And it's about probably, you know, a mile and a half or so just outside of Springfield, Missouri. In fact, I can see, you know, the main part of Springfield from the road right there. It's just right down the road. And the area that I've been living in, I've been living out here about 4 years. And when I moved out here, that area that I just showed you, there was nothing out there except that, you know, equestrian horse farms and just farms. I mean, it was just undeveloped and some residential homes that have been there for 60 or 70 years. And since I've been there just in the past 4 years, there has been probably a half a dozen tracts of land, including that one that I just showed you, that were several hundred acres right there along the road, that had been sold off to developers. And you can see what they're trying to do. That area that I just showed you was every evening, it was so beautiful to drive down there. You'd have, like I said, you'd have big, you know, herds of deer out there and turkeys and coyotes running around once in a while. Just beautiful. No light pollution whatsoever, completely dark out there. Just in the past 4 years, there has been, like I said, a half a dozen sections of that sold off, and every one of them is being built on right now. They're being, you know, homes or commercial development, that type of thing. And this is just in my part of Springfield. You can go literally on every part of Springfield, Missouri, and it's the same thing. You've got the sprawl extending out from the city there. It's the same in your town. Wherever you live, guys, unless you live in the middle of Montana, you're seeing the exact same scenario. Here's the problem we have with this, and how this will lead to the 6th extinction level event of species on the planet eventually, out of the greed and stupidity of man, nothing else. I've been battling these stupid, inept, greedy, it's just ignorance and short-sighted. That's the only word I can come up with it. Zoning and planning commissioners here in the town. You got the same thing. The problem with these, now I'm saying all of them, the majority of them are in cahoots with the real estate developers, and they're going to do anything a developer wants. In this particular situation I showed you, I went to the zoning and planning commission meetings. Every resident, standing room only in the courtroom, every one of them voiced their opposition to this development. That was it. One side of the courtroom, all the residents talking about it, listing all the problems that would come for this, listing how it does not need to be rezoned, On the other side of the courtroom, you had the developer and their attorney, and to make their case to the zoning and planning commissions. And basically the only thing that they got when they made their case, I bought this property, I want to build on it. Everybody else, all the residents that have lived here for generations, voiced their opposition as far as the degradation of property values, the noise pollution, light pollution, increased traffic, danger to the kids, the destroying the aesthetics of the area, the environmental impact, just on and on and on, making good points. And of course it went in one ear and out the other of these stupid commissioners, and they just sided with the developer, which they do every time. Here's the problem you have with that. Okay, in the last 4 years, I have seen approximately, just within sight of my own house, 400 or 500 acres of prime wildlife habitat being sold to developers for development. This never stops. This goes on 360 degrees around Springfield. It's going on in your neighborhood. Now let's just take a moment, for example, to multiply this type of expansion over the next 100 years. Picture that. What I've seen in 4 years here, the loss of habitat in 4 years, you put another 100 years on that from these unchecked, greedy, short-sighted developers and zoning and planning commissioners. Just wrap your mind around what that looks like. So you lose 200 acres here of wildlife habitat. Then the next half mile down the road, you lose another 200. The next half mile down the road, you lose another 200. Goes around the entire city, goes around your entire city. Multiply that times 100 years. You know what you have on there? You don't have anything but a damn concrete jungle everywhere. You don't have any wildlife habitat. You don't have any biological diversity. You don't have any natural or wild places. All it is vape shops, coffee shops, commercial development, gas stations, everything like that. And in the meantime, and this is the real problem, and a lot of people say, well, Randy, you can't stop progress, all that bullshit. In the meantime, in my town, in Springfield, Missouri, the interior part of the city continues to rot. So you got this rot that's going on, dilapidated buildings, meth infestations everywhere, same in your hometown. Instead of doing something to rejuvenate the inner part of the city and to put some value and to create more aesthetics within the city, these greedy real estate developers buy up the cheaper property outside of town and continue to expand and expand and expand. And it's the fox guarding the hen house, because you don't have any guardrails on it. You got these stupid zoning and planning commissioners, and when I say stupid, I'm not saying a blanket 100%. The vast majority of the inept, stupid, short-sighted, ignorant zoning and planning commissioners that side with these developers, that's not going to stop it. There's no brakes on this, because nobody has the integrity or the ethics or the morals to stop it. Because when you're a zoning and planning commissioner that gets campaign finance donations from developers, you're not going to side against that developer. And this is the inherent problem why man destroys everything it touches. And this is the problem about how humans are going to destroy themselves from their own greed and ignorance. This is just a microcosm of the problem that we have. Problem goes way beyond that. It goes upon, the government deregulating industry to deplete at will, opening up federal lands for development, for real estate development, short-sighted, inept people in positions of power that are screwing our future generations. There's no responsible growth whatsoever on it. If you're going to have responsible growth, you have to have a balance. You have to have a balance between environmental sustainability, wildlife habitat, and the needs of humans. And right now, there's no balance with that. There was nothing, just in the developments I have here. When I got up there and made my case against the zoning and planning commissioner, I was trying to explain to them the crucial wildlife habitat that is going to be lost here, and how that was more valuable aesthetically and, to nature than it would be to put 300 freaking cookie cutter, spec homes in this particular area, one ear and out the other. So Guys, I tell you right now, I don't have a lot of faith in it. I do not have a lot of faith in the future of mankind, because we have people in positions of power, whether it be in the local level here, like you see in Springfield, Missouri, or the state level or the federal level, that have any awareness of future sustainability and living in balance. All it is, grow, 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 make more money. I even heard one of those stupid zoning and planning commissioners say, well, we're pro-growth up here. In other words, you're so freaking ignorant that you do not understand that this whole mentality of grow, 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 bigger, bigger, bigger is like a cancer cell. That's all it is. It's a cancer cell eating away at the sustainability of this planet. If I was in that position and I would say, somebody said, well, I want to buy this 200 acres of land, I want to put a housing development here, I would say, no, we're not going to do that, because the loss of wildlife habitat from this particular development is unacceptable. If you want to build your housing development, we have a lot of different property around here. We have a lot of property that will not have that environmental impact. We have property all over the place that would not have the same impact. So if you want to do that, you're going to have to do that there. But we are not going to degrade the balance of our planet so you can make a buck. And that's all there is to it. I don't know, guys. It's like, if you love to hunt and if you love to fish and if you love the outdoors, there's no way you can't be on the side of what I'm talking here. Because all I got to say is it's happening where you live too. You know it's happening. You've seen it. All you guys that travel around, especially you guys that live in Florida, you've seen how the freaking real estate developers and the zoning and planning commissions are freaking in bed together down there. And it's destructive. It's unsustainable. Those people that are doing that are going to be looked upon in 100 years from now, when we have nothing but freaking a damn concrete jungle here in this country. Those people, like these zoning and planning commissioners and the developers, are going to be looked upon as some of the biggest villains in the history of our country for what they did to our country. So we have got to have a huge paradigm shift in the way that we, develop. And it's the whole thing. It's just like the short-sightedness and the ignorance of it about crapping in your own house is like, I can't even wrap my mind around it sometimes. I've had conversations with these people, and you might as well be talking to a dang tree stump. It's almost like their mind has been short-circuited, where they don't have the ability to see what their actions are doing for the future. And that's one of the reasons I'm so adamant about this, guys, is when you talk about protecting our environment, like I'm talking here, you don't do it. It's not for our planet. We don't do that for our planet, because the planet Earth's been here for 4.5 billion years, and it's going to spit us up and chew us out and start another species as soon as we're gone. We do it for the protection of the human species and the other creatures that we share this planet with, even though people like real estate developers could give a crap less about that. But the sustainability that we have and want to protect for our planet has to do with sustaining our own quality of life and our ability to sustain life on every single level. And I'll say it once again, and I'll argue anyone, we have, I'm not saying 100%, but the vast majority of people in positions of power in this country, which are business and political, those are the two major influencers in this country. They are some of the most inept, ignorant, stupid, short-sighted group of people I have ever seen in my life. I've talked to them, guys. It's literally like talking to a tree stump. It's all about the buck. It's all about making profit. It's all about growing. It's all about power. It's all about power and money. Money corrupts. It's like, I don't care if you're talking about on the local level here, like what I'm talking about, state level, national level. If you've got something that doesn't seem right, you just follow the money, because money corrupts everything. And that's one thing that we've seen right now. And I'm just, like a lot of you guys, I'm just freaking sick of it. And the only thing that you can do is, when you see people like that are abusing and, endangering the future sustainability of the human race and the planet, vote their asses out of office. That's the only way that we can make a change there. So anyway, guys, hope you're well. We'll talk later.